Hi, Abe.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Sorry
How
about
long are how long are you staying in Los
that.
Angeles?
I'll be here till September 2nd.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're going back for your time.
Well,
You're
I'll be
going to
back
go
for
back.
the time. Yeah.
Very nice. Okay. And your building's all finished now?
What?
Your building is all finished?
Yeah, yeah. Been finished for a while already.
Hello.
Hola, Maria. So, Genao told me he saw you at the Trader Joe's,
Yeah, and he told me you go to his.
to the
Yeah.
shul there. Yeah. I started going this week. Who's that?
No.
Who came on? Hi, Ernie.
Hi, good evening.
Hello.
I'm eating something, so
One second.
I'm going to take off video.
Okay, so we are on Pei Bays 82. So we said even the paraduma, if it's shechted, it has tumas oichlin. Why? Amrav shlokish, paraniftis amray Reb Shimon, paraniftis agabi marocha. Let's say they already shechted the paraduma, and because you're supposed to burn it there, and then all of a sudden they find a nicer paraduma somewhere in Eretz Yisrael. You're allowed to redeem the para even while it's there, even after it's been shechted. So therefore, it could be fit. This statement, when you said that it's Eina Ru'uya, it's not correct. It should be removed from that Mishnah. Now, another example that was given of a Shechita She'ena Ru'uya was Egla Arufa, the decapitated calf that if you find a corpse in no man's land and you measure to the closest city, that the elders of that city have to do a procedure of the Egla Rufa. Now, Egla Rufa lav shchita ru'uyi. Why do you say that Egla Rufa, the shchita, is not roy? But not nimsa hoyre gat shalos se'orfa Egla. Let's say the murderer who killed this person was found before they cut the head off the Egla. Teitze v'tira be'eder. It can go out, and once it gets a mum, it can be used. So it is permitted. It's not a shchita she'ena ru'uya. Amr Shimon ben Lakish from Rav Yanai Egla Rufa Eina Mishnah. It also has to be removed from that Mishnah. It's not correct. Frag the Gemara, mi Amr Rav Yanai Hachi. Did Rav Yanai retract? Amr Rav Yanai. Gvul Shamati Bavishachachti. There was a point in the process of Egla Rufa where there was no return. Even before you shecht it, once you bring it down to the river where you're going to shecht it, then it's already osir, even before the shechita. And if there would be a contradiction, rather than Rav Yanai saying it's Eno Mishnah, he could have just said, V'misa lishani kan kodim yirdasa, kan lachi yirdasa. The two variant dinim, one it is ru'uya and the other it's not ru'uya, it just has to do with whether it's been taken down to the river. Why would Rav Yanai have to say that it's Eno Mishnah? So Omrav Pinchas Breder Vami, Anan Mishmeid Rish Lakish Masnisan law. It's not Rav Yanai. It's in the name of Rav Pinchas that Egla Rufa in a Mishnah. Rav Ashi Kiavina Be Rav Papi Kashilan. When we were learning in the yeshiva of Rav Papi, we had a problem. Miyoma Rish Lakish Achi. Could Rish Lakish have said in a Mishnah Vayitmar? Tziporim Mitzorim Emasai Nesorim. the birds, there's a procedure. If you have tzaras, you have to shecht one bird. And you use the sprinklings on the mitzora, and the other bird is set free. Now they also become osir when Reish Lakish Omer mishas lekicha. Once you designate them as birds, v'amina maitan Reish Lakish gomar kicha kicha megla rufa. That the egla rufa becomes prohibited once you take it down to the river, not when it's dead. Same thing with these birds. Once you so Reish Lakish learns that egla rufa is usher during its lifetime, and therefore if you shecht it prior to that, it would be okay. So it can't be Reish Lakish that says ain't a Mishnah. It's not Reish Lakish, it's Rav Yochanan. Okay, Mishnah. So the din of Egla Rufa, if you shecht the mother on a certain day, and a second person comes along and shechts the child, the second person is chayiv the law for Osav Esbeno. It's not the one person has to shecht both. Whoever shechts the second one is chayiv. So shnaim shalachu para ubna. Two people went to the cattle market and they bought a mother and a child on the same day. Now there's a priority. The one who bought the animal first, if it came down to going to Beis Din would rule that he has the opportunity to shecht it first. Because remember, whoever shechts it first, the other guy can't shecht it until tomorrow. Otherwise, it would be a problem with Osav Esbeno. However, im kodem hasheni zacha, if the second guy went ahead and shechted it first, anyways, even though he bought it second, he gets to eat it. The other guy is not allowed to shecht the mother until tomorrow.
But Ernie, what happens like on a ranch where the calf and the mother get separated?
So Harold always asks the question of identification.
Yeah.
You have always
Again with the tag?
Yes. They had a lineage.
Okay.
No, there's no question.
Otherwise, how would you? Right. Okay.
Yeah. But let me ask you something. Once they get separated, two different owners. There's one owner
far away.
One bought the cow, one bought the calf. Right. So now
they don't know. Yeah.
So now the guy sells him the cow. The guy sells him the calf. Doesn't know that he's going to shecht first or he's going to shecht second. How does he know that? I'm bothered by the Gemara. I was trying to learn the Gemara this morning. Okay. It's very bothersome.
So the Gemara is about to say, this is a mominous question, meaning, if you went to the cattle market, the one who bought it first technically has the right to shecht it first. It's not an absolute right. And like you said, if the second one went ahead and did it, he did it. And the other guy's going to be constrained not to shecht till tomorrow. Now,
yeah, but the other guy...
Your other question about if it's far away and all of that stuff. So they were told, most likely they kept records. If the same producer had the mother and the child, when he sold the mother, he probably had records, and he would tell the guy who sold the mother to, there's also a calf, and it's sold to X and X person. Just make sure you don't check them both on the same day. I mean, I don't know how else they could have, unless by communicating to the two people who bought it, that you realize you should be in communication with each other to make sure that one of you is not over alav. Now remember, you're not going to get malchus unless somebody is aware that the mother was shechted on this day. Somebody has to come and warn you, don't shecht the child today, otherwise you'll get malchus. So if you don't know about it, you're not going to get punished for it, but you're still over a lav of lo sishchatu osov espeno. So you have to be careful if you know that there was a mother that was in the parsha. The other stuff I think they could keep track of, and they would inform the purchasers that there is a child involved, and you should reach out or whatever. Maybe this is the contact information. I don't know. Rav Yosef Linyan Dina Tanat. This has to do with if they go to Bezdin and they have a din between them. Bezdin's rule is going to rule that the first guy who bought it first has first rights to shecht it. Tana. Im kodem hasheni areza zoris v'nisker. Not only that, it says if the second guy went ahead and shechted, he had alacrity. That means he was not lazy. He went ahead and he gained by it because he gets to eat the meat a day earlier. Zor is the law of Isura. He didn't commit any Aveira. And Vinisker de Gachel Bisra. And he ate the meat before the other guy ate the meat. Okay. Shochat Para Va'akachach Shnei Voneha. Person shechted the mother. The mother had 2 calves. And he shechted both of the calves. Soifeg Shmoinim. He gets 2 sets of malchus. He committed 2 different acts of Osov Espino. He did 2 shchita acts. So he gets 2 sets of malchus. Now listen to the other way. Shochat shnei voneh v'achar shachta. He shechted the 2 calves. There's no isser to shech 2 calves. 2 brothers. Then later on that day, he went and shechted the mother. Now, he only did 1 act of shchita. Even though that 1 act of shchita involved 2 osov espinos, you can't give him 2 sets of malchus. Soifik is our boy. He only gets 1 set of malchus because he only did 1 ma'aser shchita. Maybe in Shamayim it's treated as if he did 2, but he'd only get 1 punishment, malchus. Shachta vesbita vesbasbita. The person shechts a daughter of a cow, and then that daughter's daughter. And they shechted the mother. So he did 3 shchitas. The mother, the daughter, and the granddaughter. So according to the way we've been learning, Soifek Shmoni, he gets 2 sets of malchus because he did 2 acts of prohibited shchita. Shachta, if he shechted the grandmother and then the granddaughter, that's basbita, and then the 3rd shchita was the bita, Soifek is our boy. Shechting a mother and a grandmother is not oisev espino. It's only 1 generation and the next generation. It doesn't travel to 3 generations. When he shechted the middle child, right? So then he's violated oisev espino, the mother and the child. That's why shechts 1. Comes sumchus oimer mishum Rab Meir, soifek shmoini. He says in that case, you would get 2 sets of malchus. We don't understand.
It's grandmother and daughter and granddaughter.
No, the 3rd case was grandmother and granddaughter first.
Okay. But the same day?
Same day, but there's no problem there.
I know, but then they shecht.
Then you shechted the daughter.
On the
So
same day
now,
also.
not the same day. Now you have the mother and the daughter, so you have Osav Espino.
You have 2 cases. 2 cases. You have the grandmother and the daughter, and you have the daughter and the
Yeah,
granddaughter.
but remember, we've already established that with 1 act of shchita, you could never violate 2 malchuses because he only did 1 prohibited act. Yes, it's the same as if you shechted 2 children and the mother.
Oh, okay.
No, there we said it's 2 acts, you get 2. But if you shechted 2 children and then the mother, you also have 2 averis, but you only get 1 malchus because there's only 1 act of shechita. The chachamim are learning the same way here. When you shechted the daughter, even though now when you shechted the daughter, there's osoves beno for its mother, and there's osoves beno for its daughter, it's only 1 act of shechita. Sumchas disagrees. Sumchas is learning like Mario, who thinks that even with 1 act of shechita, you could get 2 malchuses. Sumchas holds that. We're just going to have to figure out what is Sumchas holding. How does it work? Rashi says, Soifei Garboim, there's only 1 lav. There's only 1 hasra that you can give. It's the same prohibition that Rashi is learning. It's 1 hasra. It's the same lav. Osov es beno. One is the mother, one is the granddaughter. But you can't. If you could give 2 different hasras, you could give 2. And we'll see how Sumchas learns that. Now, the Gemara, the Mishnah started off by saying if you shechted the calves and then the mother, you get malchus. But the Gemara does not my osov es benom rachmana v'lo beno v'osov. The Gemara sees from the pasuk that the law only works if you shechted the parent and then the child. The Gemara now is asking, how do you know that if you shech the child and then the mother, there's the same lav? So the Gemara says, lo sakadait. That's not even a havamini. The Tanya, osoves beno, ainly al osoves beno, osoves imo minai. How do I know that it works even when you shechted the child and the mother? Kishu omer lo sish chatu. It says, osoves beno lo sish chatu biyom echad. Plural. Hare kan shnayim. Echad haketzim. Echad hashochet es apor ve'echad hashochet es ima. Ve'echad hashochet es no. Shnayim achronim chayovim. It's you're chayiv whether you shechted the mother first or the child first. It doesn't make a difference which one was shechted first. And we learn that from lo sish chatu. But lo sishchatu is the main lav of don't shecht a parent and a child. How can you say it teaches you this other din? Im kein lichtov lo sishchot, my lo sishchatu plural, to teach me that you violate the lav either way. It's still you need another reason to say lo sishchatu. Because of one lo sishchot, havamin echad in trey lo. I would have thought that maybe the din only applies to one person shechting the mother and the same person shechting the child. But we know it's not so. We know that it could work even with 2 people. One person shechts, the other person shechts the child, he's also chayiv. Because we're lo sishchatu afilu trey, even when there's 2 people combining. Freit the Gemara kein lichtov lo yishchatu. My lo sishchatu shma mina tarti. We learned both dinim, that 2 people can be involved in the avera, and that it makes no difference whether you shech the mother and the child, the mother first and the child second, or whether you shech the child first and the mother second. Okay. Shachtov is bas bita. We learned the case if you shechted the grandmother and the granddaughter, and then you shechted the middle child. According to Chachamim, it's only one set of malchus. According to Sumchas, you get two sets. Armalei Abayil Rav Yosef, my time at the Sumchas. What does Sumchas hold? Ksavar Sumchas. Ochal shnei zeisei chelim behelem echad chayv shtei chatos. This goes back to our old discussions in Masechta Shabbos. A person forgot, for example, that chaylev is prohibited. And he ate 2 kazesim of chaylev in that one period of forgetfulness. So the Tanakh, the Chachamim hold you only bring 1 chatas. To bring 2 chatoses, you have to have, oh, I forgot that chaylev is usher, and I eat chaylev. And then somebody reminds me, oh, chaylev is prohibited. Oh, okay. I have to bring a chatas. Then I forget again that chaylev is usher, I eat it again. Then you have to bring 2. But if you eat 2 kazesim in one period of forgetfulness, you're only chayiv 1. Sumcha says, no. Even if I eat 2 kazayis in one period of forgetfulness, I bring 2. So therefore, it's the same thing here. With 1 act of shechita, I committed 2 violations. I shechted its mother and this child, and I shechted the child and his child. Implying that Sumchas would hold everywhere that if you commit 2 violations, even if it's only one period of forgetfulness, you'd have to bring 2 korbanos. Uvidinu de l'shmina ba'alma. We could have learned this din in Sumchas somewhere else. Haide kamash malon baha. The reason that Sumchas's opinion is clarified in this sugya, lo yidichacha koyach de rabbanon, to show you how strong the rabbis are against that. The afagav de gufen muchlokin patri rabbanon. Remember, you had a grandchild, you had a grandmother, and then the middle child. 3 different bodies. So the Chachamim might have had a reason to agree with Sumchas. No. Even so, even though there's multiple people involved in the or objects involved in the Isser, you only bring 1 malchus. That's one approach in Sumchas. Oidil Maksavar Sumchas. Maybe Sumchas is different. Maybe Sumchas agrees with the Chachamim that if you 2 kazei chaylev in 1 chelem, you only bring 1. How come here is different? Hochainu taima, hoil v'gufin muchlokin. You have multiple objects: the grandparent, and the child. Omer lay in. Rav Yosef responded to a bike. It's the first approach. That in general, Sumchas holds that you can bring 2 chatos even with 1 act, or 1 act of forgetfulness. Mimai, miditanya. Hazareya kloim loike. If you plant twice kloim, we'll see what that means. You get malchus. By loike. Idlem loike achas. Only 1 pshita. V'od, my climb. What does it mean, double climb? Ela pshita shtei malchus. We're talking about 2 malchus for 2 acts of climb. B'mayaskina. Ilem b'zachar zevu shtei asros. You're not allowed to plant, let's say, wheat with grapes. And he did it sequentially, one after another, with 2 different warnings. Well, that's pshita. That's like by every other case. That's the standard. Tanina. Nazir shayashoyse yain kol hayom. A Nazir forgot that he's not allowed to drink wine. And he's drinking 10 cups of wine. Eino chayv elachas. Because it's one period of forgetfulness, one asra. But if amru lo al tishte v'hu shoyse, he's told don't drink, but he drinks. And then he says don't drink, and he drinks. Chayv al kol achas v'achas. So we see clearly, if you're warned separately, you get separate malchus. So why would this be a chiddush here by the kloim? Ela pshita b'vasachas. You planted kloim twice, but at one shot, uvasra achas. Yet you're chayiv two. Now, ilay mirabanan the plik alei sumchas. Is this the rabbanan who argue with sumchas? No. Hashta umahasam the guf mechlakim, but rabbanan. Thereby the multiple cows. The rabbanan still only said you're chayiv one hachala kol shekain. Here, it's only one person who did the avera, planted climb. He certainly would be potter from the extra malchus. Elalav sumchasu. So this is Rav Yosef's understanding why sumchas holds that you get multiple malchus even for one hella. Abayas is low. You have no proof. I could say loylam rabbanon. That the Kloim case, he did two separate acts of Kloim with two separate warnings. Now, you asked, that what chiddush is that? We've learned that everywhere in Shas. Milsa gavorcha kamashmalan, because it's telling us something else. The ikikre gavnik Kloim. There's planting wheat with grapes and planting barley with grapes. Those are different averas. Lafukim Rav Yoshia. And we wanted to be told that we don't hold like Rabbi Yoshia. He held you have to plant wheat, barley, and grapes in one shot. Not that you get a different avera of wheat and grapes separate and barley and grapes separate. Kamash Malon, the chizar chita v'chartzim sor v'chartzanami l'chayv that you're chayv either, no matter what. Okay. Toshma. Ochal mizek kazayis u'mizek kazayis. So, in the sugi of Gira Noshe, right, the sciatic nerve, there was a machlokes whether or not it's only the Gira Noshe of the right or the Gira Noshe of the left. So let's say you ate a kazayis of both. Soifek shmoinim. The Tanakama says you get two sets of malchus because both have the din of Gira Noshe. You only get one set of malchus. According to Rabbi Yehuda, the din of Gira Noshe only applies to one side. So, Memela, you're chayiv, but you're only chayiv one. He ate the two pieces, the two ksesim of Gira Noshe, one after another with two warnings. Well, why would Rabbi Yehuda say only chayv one? He would also agree that you get two. My time, Rabbi Yehuda. Maybe you'd say because hasra safek he. Maybe because since he doesn't. Maybe Rabbi Yehuda is a safek. Which one? One of them is asr midrabana. One of them is asr min Torah. So you don't know what hasra to give him. V'shamil Rabbi Yehuda do'amar asra safek lo shma asra. And therefore, and a safek asra is not a asra. The Tanya. You're not allowed to strike your parent. And let's say there are two men. There's a safek. One of them is your father. He struck both of them. He cursed both of them, one after another. He struck both of them in one shot, or cursed both of them in one shot. He's chayv misa. by giving the warning, one of these is your parent, then it's an absolutely acceptable asra. But Rabbi Yehuda will say b'vas achas chai. That's only if you strike both of them at the same time. But b'zecha zer potter, because every hasra that you give before the individual act will be a suffix hasra. So back to our case, elipshita b'vas achas uvasra achas. The Gita Nasha case must be he's eating it all in one shot, both. It was one warning. And Rabbi Yehuda held that you only give him one, Malchus. Tanakama says two. Now, who is the Tanakama? Man Tanakama. Ilem Rabbanan de Pliga Sumchas. Is it the Rabbanan or is the Bar Plukta of Sumchas? Can't be. Hashram Asam de Gufa Muchlakim Pat Rabbanan. In the case of the three cows, the grandmother, the daughter, the granddaughter, they still potter. Hachaloi kol shekain that he would potter because there's only one person. And a lot of sumchasi. So we see sumchas again is the one that holds you get multiple malchuses. Again, the Gemara says lo lo bezachar zeh. We're talking about sequential and v'rabbanon. V'hai tanas Rav Loki irich tanad Rabbi Yehuda the Amar Asra Sovik Shma Asra. They hold like the other understanding in Rabbi Yehuda that even a suffix Asra is a real Asra. And where do we see that? The Tanya will leave this for tomorrow.
So what time is tomorrow, Oni?
Eicha is 8 o'clock by us.
No, it's 8:30.
No, in Yavne is 8. In Young Israel is 8.
Why don't we do it at 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock, which got minion, and then at 6:25.
Why don't we do it at 5:30?
Hmm.
Okay, 5:30. So it's not rushed to the mincha 6:25. So we do it at 5:30.
What time's the fast start?
I'll
Eight
try
o-
to do.
8
I'll
o-
try to do 2 block too because we
8:05.
can't learn.
Okay,
We don't learn on Thursday.
Yeah.
right.
But we'll do 5:30. We'll try to learn or at least a blot and a half.
Hold on a second.
And then Friday we'll do the other half a blot. Tonight we do Tsorba at 8 o'clock.
The fast begins at 8:02. They're saying.
And we've got plenty of time. 5:30 is the right time.